Welcome to Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D adventure about 4 heroes on the greatest quest of all, to find true love. Last time on Romancing the Dungeon,
you were in a cage in a very empty warehouse. We gotta go. They did something. It was Nana and she didn't know me.
We'll get them back.
Faceless ones. We die. We don't give up.
Our pleasure.
There's an explosion. You see Marilla. Nobody grabs my knee.
What the fuck are you doing here, Mom?
The half-elf, and he's gonna lunge for Marilla. Marilla has gone white. And then shit goes boom. And the warehouse just lights up. You all arrive back at the Copper Rabbit.
I grab Clodagh and give her a smooch.
We haven't got time. That flat-stump prick, he's got himself a monster. Sykes is pointing at a southeast wall. That's your way in.
Can your brother help with this?
I'm gonna go to him.
Yeah, I can tackle him.
Hephaestus, you see Fia's face flush. You hear a voice. Tick, tock, Hephaestus. Are you lonely, miserable, or just plain horny? Well, you've taken the first steps to solving your problems. At least your dating ones. Welcome to D8. Devoted, desired, dreamy or dirty. Dapper dates for dejected daters. My name is Roz Greypurse, founder, CEO, and love wizard. And why not try our app now available on Sending Stones? Why bother making conversation when you can just present the best version of yourself in the false hope of finding a like-minded catfishing soul? To get started, please fill out the attached questionnaire. Question 21. What is the most romantic thing you have ever done?
I once organized an orgy for an ex of mine. Does that count?
How could it not? This Thane's tidbit, the most romantic thing that Thane has ever done for anyone, was actually not for himself. I reunited a married couple, this lovely couple who had spent years and years apart, and finally brought them back together. And now they're living happily on the same plot in a nice, beside a church, and it's really picturesque and lovely, and it was very romantic.
So this one guy I was seeing, I could see that he was really, really stressed out from work. So I decided one day to cheer him up. I would go to his house. I tidied the place up. I changed his bed sheets. I watered his plants. I decided to make his favorite meal for him. I laid it all out on the table and then left. He was so surprised when he came home. It was amazing.
The most romantic thing I've ever done. It's hard to say, really. There's a song I play when I meet someone, and I generally swap the names out. And each time the girl always says it's the most romantic thing that's ever happened to her. So we'll go with that.
Bravo.
We left the last episode with Fia and Nate heading to her home, Burbage and Sons, to seek out Quillo and to get some answers. It's not going to take you that long to get there, but you're still being quite cautious. Hephaestus and Thane, you are behind in the Copper Rabbit. Thane, you were on first watch. And Hephaestus, you had gone to bed kind of in a mood. Would that be safe to say?
That's always safe to say.
Yeah. Some mood of some description. We're going to start with Thane. You've kind of pitched yourself up beside a low burning fireplace. You're kind of taking care of it, but you're not adding anything to it. So there's just kind of a warm orange glow off of it. Yeah, it's only been maybe about 15 minutes since the gang have left, but you watched as kind of Hephaestus went upstairs to bed without kind of saying anything. So it's just you down here in the Copper Rabbit on your own.
I kind of let my watch kind of stay normal for maybe the first hour, just keeping an eye on the doors and the windows and just settling in. But when the fire starts getting low, I tune it up with a create bonfire, and I sit down in front of the fire. I take off my glove and I put it over my chest, and I concentrate really, really hard trying to communicate with someone I really, really hate.
Yeah, you again, you're holding this hand kind of close to your chest, and you're kind of concentrating on her and the feelings that sort of erupt, it kind of sounds that happens fast. It's an ooze. It's a very, very slow ooze that sort of swallows you. You're staring into the fire and you haven't realized it, but there's sort of a wafting of thick grey smoke just sort of dribbling out of the fire. And suddenly you kind of find that as you kind of look around you, you see that this room that you're in, the downstairs with the Copper Rabbit, there is a fog of smoke, and just moving through it very, very slowly, you just see a shape. As it moves, the smoke moves around it, and that's what kind of gives you the hint that you are no longer alone down here. Her form emerges from the smoke, and you see the Grey Lady dressed head to toe in what looks like sort of a wedding gown, her face covered in a veil, and the smoke trailing behind her.
I pause for a second, and I look at her like I'm not interrupting anything.
Oh my, no, I was simply waiting for your word.
All right, yeah, we should probably talk about this job.
Well, it's been some time.
You can blame the Fae for that. Didn't really have much of a hand in it, but we're nearly there. We're going to be going to her sometime in the next day. What do you think may be more about a trade than a deal? Because I think this could work out well for the both of us.
It's been some time, Thane, and I've missed you. So entertain me with your little trade.
A heart for a heart. How about that? We can start there.
You're saying if you give me the Flatstone woman's heart, I return yours to you?
Think of how much better I'll be at all this if I'm back working at, I don't know, let's call it full capacity.
She pulls the veil back slightly, just so you can see her lower jaw and her mouth. Hear my words, Thane, and listen very, very carefully. And she pulls back from the table and her fingernails scratch into the wood. And as she lifts her hands up in front of her, you just see a ball of smoke roll and spin violently in front of her. There, just right in front of you, is a beating heart.
Thane just kind of instinctively leans forward towards it and catches himself.
I own this. And she kind of balls her left hand very, very slowly. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 22.
You feel a tightness in your chest, as if somebody has reached in and is just squeezing your lungs. I appreciate the conversation. And she lets go of the hurt.
No, it's good. I feel like we should always check in with each other. It's always good to have open dialogue. Let me know how you're feeling. You know how I'm feeling.
Well, right now I feel like I really want the Flatstone heart. And if I don't get it, Thane, maybe I'll take fancy to somebody else's. And just with her right hand, she twists the smoke between them. And a face forms just beside her. The face of the woman from your dreams.
Why do you keep doing this?
Because it's fun. Now, is there anything else, or...
No, actually, there is an important thing. How will I get this to you?
Like always, Thane, I watch you, and I will be waiting.
All right, have fun at your... whatever you are at.
I feel like we're parting on such sad terms, Thane, and I don't want you to hate me. So, I'll give you something. Come closer. She's literally outstretching her arms for an embrace.
Just like straighten my back and just take a deep breath and give her a little embrace.
As you wrap your hands around her, you actually feel the skin slip. The bones inside move. It's like they're suspended in like jelly and ash, and you can feel her sticking to you. and then she plunges her fingers into your back. They're digging, like they're actually digging, her nails are digging into you. She keeps going, and then you can actually feel her touching your rib cage. That's the spot. And she just pulls her fingers straight out, and she takes a step back. Goodbye, Thane. The smoke just, it literally rushes towards the fire, and the bonfire goes out. And all that's left is just embers. There's 10 holes in the back of your shirt that she has just bore her hands and nails into. Your back feels wet. You can feel kind of blood trickling down. Give me another Constitution saving throw. This time with disadvantage.
Oh, 6.
Your current hit points have been reduced by 3. But as you kind of stumble back and you're checking, it feels like something is chipping and gnawing and just hammering away at your bones. And then your chest starts to get tighter and tighter. It's almost as if your rib cage is expanding. And then you just feel the skin rip as bone just completely emerges. You have been given bone plating, plus 3 AC,
Oh, that's really wet.
minus
Ugh.
2 to your charisma.
Minus 2. So
so
now
you-
I'm at 7 charisma.
Yes, so you're you've a minus 2 to all your charisma rolls.
Dang.
Oh,
Which is kind of what's been happening anyway. Like,
yeah. When you
now
think
it's just
about
literally happening when you're
it. How much cover up can I get for this?
as in, like, if you put new armor, it will cover, but like you feel weird.
I still got a weird vibe.
Consult your doctor. The hardening has not gone away.
Oh, lordy. Thane's feeling a bit weird right now, kind of uncomfortable in his body, and he just kind of sits back by the fire and pokes at it for a little bit, thinking.
Fia and Nate, just around the same time you've arrived at Burbage and Sons, you notice the door to the apartment. You don't even have to roll for it. It's been booted in.
Immediately, I draw my short bow. Like, not as carefully as I would. I go to try and find Quillo, because I'm worried. I'm really worried.
Nate, you just see Fia draw a weapon and kind of bolt for the door.
I'll pull my rapier out and run after her.
You rush into the house, and Nate, you're kind of following behind. You've never been to the store before, or to Fia's house. There's just stuff everywhere. There's giant vases, there's paintings kind of stacked on the floor on top of each other. There's some weapons in the corner. You're pretty sure you just saw that stuffed fox wink at you. There's just a lot. Like, there's just a lot of everything. Rushing in, you see that the place has been trashed.
No. Quillo. No, where is he? Where is he?
Okay, let's just stop for a second. Okay, let's just
No.
we've got to look for clues. We can sort this. Okay,
Okay.
it's okay. It's okay.
He's just.
Okay.
He's all I've got left.
Okay, look at me for a minute. Look at me.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anyone out there that, I don't know, had a grudge against Quillo, or like what's the deal?
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah. That, to be fair.
Okay, so that's not helpful then.
It could have been Roderick. He recognized me. Do you remember? He recognized me. He knows my brother.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go back to
Can
the
I see?
warehouse?
Can I see if I can figure anything out from what happened here?
Give me investigation checks if you want.
9.
15?
Fia, you're kind of you're looking, but you're not seeing anything. It's that sort of like you can't fix on any kind of particular
Yeah.
area or anything like that. Nate, there's 2 things. You do notice a small kind of little trickle of blood on the floor that kind of leads into it through a doorway. Second thing you notice is, stuff is broken. None of it looks expensive.
I'm going to discreetly follow this trail of blood without Fia seeing.
Give me a stealth, and I'll give you advantage just because you're
I'm freaking out. Yeah.
useless apparently in times of crisis.
24.
Fia, you're checking every room. You're going to the kitchen. You've kind of lost sight of everything. You're in a state of panic. Nate, on having seen the blood, you kind of move in, and they're half sprawled on a king-size bed. You see a Shader-Kai elf lying there breathing.
Fia?
Yeah.
Fia, get in here now.
I rush over.
There, on his bed, you see Quillo. He's just breathing really badly. He's very wheezy.
I rush over to him and I start keep repeating his name, and I start kind of checking him to see where the blood is coming from, to see how badly he's injured.
Give me a medicine check.
15.
You can see that as you kind of go to check him out,
You see that his face is very, very swollen. His right eye, it's literally kind of almost closed up. There's a gash over that, and that seems to be where the blood has been coming from. But his lip has been split, and his nose looks slightly wonky.
I run back into the kitchen. I grab a cloth and soak it in water, and I bring it back and start kind of dabbing his face to try and clean him up. Sorry.
They didn't get you then.
They did, but we got away.
He hoists himself up on his elbows onto the bed, kind of to take everything in. What are you doing back here, Fia?
We came looking for your help, and it's a good thing we did come back. Was it Roderick?
How do you know Rotfinger?
He captured us.
He takes the cloth from your hands and he's kind of bundled it up and he's now kind of pressing it over his eye. What have you got yourself into, Fia?
It's a long story, but Norris Flatstam hired Roderick and the Faceless Ones to
Nate, give me an insight check.
capture us because we're trying to get Eugenia back and safe from him, his sister.
16.
When Fia said Norris's name, you noticed briefly his body language shifted a little bit. It's not that he tensed up, but he reacted to the name. Sorry, you're involved with the Flatstums.
Yeah.
Is that why your face is plastered on every poster in the city?
Yeah.
And who's this guy?
This is my friend Nate. He's Eugenia's husband.
What's up?
Okay, clearly Roderick hit me too many times in the head. This makes no sense. Why would Eugenia Flatstam marry, and no offense intended, but that? And he points at Nate.
Offense taken.
They're in love, Quillo. I'm sorry. That's their business. We're his friends and we're trying to help him get back to her. But Norris wants to hurt her. He wants to take over the Flatstam estate by any means necessary, and it's not the first time he's done this to her.
I need a minute. Fia, could I think there might be some ice in the cool box. Would you mind? And
Yeah.
he hands you the rag.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And I run out to get some.
Whatever you've gotten my little sister into, if anything happens to her, I'm coming for you. And I have friends that can have you disappeared and nobody will find you in the hole they bury you in.
Yeah. I mean, I can only do so much, but I think Fia's looking after me more than I'm looking after her, so.
At this stage, I come back in with the ice in the cloth.
Quillo kind of adjusts himself a little bit, like he kind of tries to relax into the headboard. You've gotten yourself mixed up in something serious, Fia. This isn't something that I can fix. My associates, they won't get involved with the Flatstums. This is the death wish. If you've pissed off that wheezy little prick Norris, that man has more money than sense, and he'll pay anyone to stop you getting his hands on his sister.
I know, but we gotta try. We can't let him get away with it, Quillo. Imagine, if he had control over the city, we're all screwed.
You must know something that can help us.
If he's got Rotfinger working for him, he's extended his reach into the city way further than I had thought possible. The Faceless Ones aren't exactly people you go to for a picnic. They mean serious shit, Fia. And you killed 3 of them. If this is what you want to do, then fine. But leave me out of it.
What did Roderick want?
He came looking to barter for Fia's life. He wanted 10,000 gold pieces for her. I refused to pay him. I demanded he release her. When I wouldn't give him the money, he laughed. He said that you were dead and that I was next, that Flatstam has some big plan, and it didn't make any sense what he was talking about.
What did he say exactly?
That they're doing something the night of the Harvest Festival when they would have had their big fete.
We need to go back to the others and tell them this. Is there anything here at the house that might help us that I could take?
He rolls on his side a little bit and he reaches down to a bedside locker, and then he takes something out of it. And you just see it's a small emerald set inside a stone ring, and it's on a cord. He hands it to you. This was Mom's.
What?
She gave it to me the night she left.
Oh, how come you never told me?
Because it wasn't for you, Fia. She gave it to me. And now I'm giving it to you. But you had to go and ruin it. It'll keep you safe.
Okay. Thank you.
You can have a look around if you want. I don't know. Mom and Dad's old junk is still here, but it's in the attic. My head's killing me. I'm would you just close the door? I'm gonna get some rest. And Nate, remember what I said. He rolls over, puts the ice on the locker, and just kind of curls into the bed.
I walk out lightly with the intention of going and seeing if I can find anything in the attic.
Yeah, well, I suppose following up on, like, he sort of mentioned on my last investigation check that there were, like, the stuff that was broken, like, wasn't expensive. So is there, I suppose, just to follow that thread in some way, shape, or form.
So you kind of wait for Fia to... She moves back out into kind of the hallway where the stairs were, and then you hear kind of a bit of scuffling, and then you just kind of hear her kind of scuttling up the wall, and she disappears into the attic. If you want to give me another investigation check.
14.
You notice on the table there are 2 cups. They're both empty, but you see nothing spilled on the table.
Yeah, I suppose I want to go back into Quillo.
Yeah. Fia, do you want to give me a perception check?
10.
You don't really know what you're looking for. You're heading in one direction when there's just a small window and it's casting a bit of light into the attic for you. As you kind of look out the window to have a look up at the night sky, you see something in that corner of the room, and it's just a tall black box, slender and covered in dust.
I walk over to it and I reach out for the box and I lay it down gently to open it.
When you do, it rattles. There's something in it, and what you notice is there's a slightly tarnished silver lock keeping the case shut. There's sort of a felt coating on the box, and just as you kind of lay it down in the light, you see that the felt has kind of been cut or shaved into grooves, and you just see the head of a raven and a crown. You open the box and there's just a flash of a memory. You can see your hands and you're lifting them up and you're looking up at this woman with kind of just long, thick plume of purple hair tousled over bare shoulders, and the shoulders are pulled back and you just see one arm pulling on a string, and the face turns and there's just a flash of a smile from very soft, delicate pink skin, and just these beautiful, warm eyes just staring down at you, and the head turns and you just hear the crack of string and an arrow fly loose, and the memory's gone. In the box, set against this red interior velvet, there is just a jet black longbow, the silver head of a raven on the neck. You have found the raven's talon. When you take the bow in your hand, it's light to the touch, and there's a coldness to it as well. It's the same cold you feel when you find yourself standing in the shadows. And there's something at the edges, a trickle or a trace of magic. In your left hand manifests a short, black, smoking blade. The Raven's Talon allows you to cast Shadow Blade once per night. Nate, you've gone back into the room, into Quillo's room. You see that he's drawn the covers over himself.
Quillo, just was taking a look outside, and God, that must have been really awful. What happened? They trashed the place.
There is no answer.
I sort of take a step closer. Are the sheets sort of moving at all? Like,
no.
Can I listen out for a breath?
Give me a perception check, yeah.
That is a 21.
You don't hear anything. You don't even hear like the rustling. You know, like if someone was asleep under the blankets, you'd hear them kind of even move slightly.
I sort of grab the blanket at the end of the bed and I slowly just start to pull it back.
It's just pillows.
I'll open the curtains. Is the window open, or
No, it's shut.
I'll investigate, see if I can find
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
That is a 19.
Kind of as you kind of pull back the curtains to check to see if the window has been opened and he snuck out that way, just down the end of this narrow alleyway, you just see a shadow move.
I'll throw the blankets back on top of the pillows and leave.
As you're kind of heading back out of the room and kind of shutting the door, Fia, you've come down from the attic and you find Nate kind of coming out of Quillow's room.
What are you doing?
I just wanted to have a quick talk with Quillow, but yeah, I don't think he's kind of in the mood to see anyone right now. So
Yeah, just leave him rest. We should get back to the others now.
yeah, are you okay?
I'm glad to know he's all right. He's all I've got left after Dad died and Mom left us. He's all I got. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Festa, you went to bed a little while ago, but sleep hasn't come to you. As you lay there, even though you set it in your bag on the floor, you cannot take your eyes off of it and what's inside it. And your mind keeps going back to that obsidian dagger.
I'm gonna actually get up and go grab it. And I guess I haven't really properly looked at it yet.
Give me an Arcana check.
15.
You hadn't really had the time to give this thing the once over. You've taken it from the bag, and it is so cold to the touch. This isn't, just steel that was left outside or, left in an empty warehouse. This is something past that. This is almost colder than ice. As you hold the handle and the tip of the blade, you see etched into it are just these runes and sigils. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
That's a natural 1. Can I use that luck thing I have?
Yeah, so you're using, it's the Wheel of Fortune, the Fey mark.
Yeah, that thing.
So you roll again.
Yeah. 16.
You recognize the symbols. It just took you a little bit of time because they don't look the same. The pattern is different. After studying them for a bit of time, you recognize them as the same runes that were drawn to form the sigils in the Temple of Devotion and Purity.
I find that very interesting. Yeah, since I can't sleep, I think I'll just go downstairs and sit with Thane.
You head downstairs and you see Thane standing with his back to you. He's kind of looking into the fireplace.
I get like a weird vibe off him.
Give me a perception check.
13.
He hasn't noticed you at all. He seems to be completely lost in whatever he's thinking about, probably something ooky, and not in a fun way. You see that the table behind him, there are very, very deep scratches torn into the wood.
I just kind of clear my throat and walk down the steps a little heavier. Are you, okay?
Me? Yeah. It was a long day. Can you not sleep?
No, I've got a bit running through my head.
I kind of pat the table with all the claw marks, and I'm like, all right, you want to sit down?
I guess. I'll walk up and sit down. I'm just looking at these horrible scratch marks in the table. Like, what the fuck happened down here?
You can see part of the table where the nails, or what it was that did the scratching into this. Parts of the timber have actually curled back.
I just flip a piece of that curled timber, just kind of look at Thane like.
You know the way you have Evelyn and all your stuff?
Yeah.
I suppose I'm not too dissimilar.
You want to talk about it?
That depends. You gonna punch me again?
I haven't decided.
You go to yours, mine kind of comes to me. They don't make me kill my friends, though.
What friends?
Thane just kind of flicks at some of the chipped wood. I mean, Fia and I kind of get on okay.
Fia gets on with everyone.
Yeah, she's nice like that.
She doesn't know better.
Yeah, Thane kind of takes his own small dagger and I'm like, so, what's yours like?
Yeah, I'll pull it out and I'll sit it on the table, but it's on the edge of the table very close to me, and I just sort of sit it there. I don't really say anything.
It definitely looks nicer. What do you think about it?
It's alright. I'm not much for stabbing.
No, you kind of get the other end of it, and I kind of gesture a bit to her face where Morag got her.
Yeah.
So are you gonna do it?
I don't know.
I won't get in your way if you want to,
I knew I could count on you.
but I hope you'll really want to. For whatever you do it for the right reasons.
Is there a wrong reason to stab Nate?
There's wrong reasons to kill people.
But Nate...
I feel like there's something somewhere beneath the hair and the tactfully placed piercings and the midlife crisis leather jacket that somewhere past it all there's something good to offer the world. Give him time, elves live long, you know. I've got another, 40 years the way I'm going? Maybe 20, maybe 2.
I mean, that just gives him more time to ruin more people's lives.
Yeah, but also the other way around, you never know. Maybe Fia will be a good influence on him.
Do you want to go get some rest? I can take watch.
Yeah, I am super beat. Got a bruise on my face the size of a bugbear. And take my dagger as I go.
Thane, as you were heading up the stairs and you just kind of make your way onto the landing, you hear the door to the Copper Rabbit. There's just kind of a slight knock. Hephaestus, as you kind of open the door, standing in front of you, you see Nate and Fia.
I catch Fia's eye, and I don't look at Nate at all, and I just sort of stand back and let them in. Any luck?
Well, he can't really help us very much. Roderick got to him, beat him up kind of bad.
Nothing at all. Not even information.
He just said we're basically screwed, considering we're mixed up with Norris, but we already knew that.
Yeah, we did.
That's kind of all he gave us, really. From what I remember, I'm sorry, I was pretty panicked, because when we got there, it looked like he was taken. It looked like he was gone, and thankfully Nate found him.
Thane just went upstairs to rest. I can take watch if you want to rest as well.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. And I walk past her and head towards the stairs.
I'm gonna walk behind the bar and just pick up some glasses and start giving a little polish and a shine, and just throw a little look over at Festa.
I do not look at him at all.
Festa, I know things didn't really go well for us, and I haven't really been the nicest person to you lately or ever, but a lot has happened, stuff that I never even thought I'd have to handle. It's put a lot of things into perspective for me. Even though I'm learning these lessons now, that doesn't mean that it justifies all the things I did to you before I learned them. And whether it means anything to you or not, I'm sorry.
I'm just sort of sitting there twirling that dagger in my hands. And I sort of let the silence sit there for a second. And then I just stab the dagger into the arm of the chair. Don't. Just don't. And I take it back and I just walk outside.
I'll go to bed.
Hephaestus, kind of hearing Nate move upstairs, you linger a little bit longer outside just to kind of get some air into you. You step back inside and you throw yourself into that armchair again, dragging it a little bit closer to the fire. and you can't be bothered going upstairs. Sleep comes to all of you, Hephaestus, even you. Like your exhaustion kind of has taken over, and with the door bolted, even though you keep your eyes fixed on it, they do grow heavy, and you fall asleep. You are all pulled out of sleep. What literally only feels a few seconds later. But as your eyes blink open and you see that daylight has broken and the rooms are filled with the morning sun, there's just a pounding on the door downstairs, and Hephaestus kind of pulls you out of your sleep.
Is there like a window I can peek out of to see who's at the door?
Yeah, there is a rather stout, surly-looking, white tufted beard having 10-gallon hat wearing Arthur McGucket. With kind of a fairly heavy bag kind of thrown over his shoulders. And he's, Marilla! Marilla! He's just pounding on the door.
I just sort of like groan and roll my eyes, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, we don't need this. But I don't open the door. I crack the door and just sort of peek out, and I'm just like, what could you possibly want from us?
Give me a strength saving throw.
McGucket muscles.
2.
7.
Wow.
Better than yours. As you crack the door open, he's used to Marilla slamming the door on his face. He shoulders in, and you're kind of pushed back. Immediately on the table that you and Thane had been talking up the night before, he just drops the bag on it, and he goes to the bar and he props himself up on the stool, and he's just huffing and puffing.
What are you doing here?
Do you work for Miss Marilla? Can I get a drink?
No!
Shut up down there, you bastards!
Marilla, you get yourself down here now. And like a few moments later, you kind of hear the hobbling, the little hobbling around in Marilla's room. The door swings open and it kind of bangs against the wall. And she's down the stairs a few moments later, and you see that she's kind of half in a nightie, half in her pants. She still looks quite pale and a little bit tired, but she's swinging the copper rabbit kind of over her head.
What do you want, you bastard?
Marilla, Miss Marilla, please, a drink. And Marilla just... and kind of waddles behind the bar, and then she drops a mug on the table.
That's all you're getting, you bastard.
I'm kind of curious about the commotion that's going on downstairs. I get up and head down to see what's happening.
The rest of you following?
Yep.
Thane takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you come downstairs, Fia and Nate, and you you see Marilla kind of in her pants and in her nightie. Arthur is holding this mug of brown ale in his hand, and he's sculled the entire cup. And Marilla just standing there with kind of her fists kind of on her hips, kind of looking up at him. Yeah, so the kids kind of throw themselves on the table, like on various different chairs and stuff like that, and they're kind of rocking back and forth. And Ike and Jess are looking at you, Nate in particular, kind of wide-eyed and kind of salivating.
Yeah, I go into the kitchen and start making some food.
Ike follows behind you.
I'll supervise.
Okay, don't get in the way.
Where? And she's kind of dragging in a stool behind her as well. So you found some eggs, ham, a couple of fairly... Well, at this stage, they're kind of that... fresh bread gets hard and a bit stale.
I know exactly what I'm making.
What are you making?
Croque madame.
Wait, who?
Croque madame.
Croque madame.
So you get basically making croque madame. Ike is looking at you quizzically going, what the heck? But is making mental notes as to what you're doing, because she's stealing the shit out of this recipe. Little shit, just going to sell it. Sell it everywhere. Yeah, Marilla is just kind of like moaning as you walk by.
Oh, morning. Mum.
It's better.
She kind of hits you with the copper rabbit as you walk by.
Bone butt.
Marilla is just kind of looking perplexed at Arthur.
McGucket, just slow down. Slow down.
And like McGucket pulls the mug away, and you see that his beard is just covered in beer foam. Miss Marilla, and not to take your word from you, but that bastard has finally done it. The markets are gone. And he just stares down into the empty mug.
What happened to the markets?
Oh, he swings around rather well. Nat 1, he falls off.
Let me tell you.
That beer went straight to his head.
Yeah, he goes to kind of like spin on the chair a little bit of it, but his arse slides off of it and he lands on his arse. And Marilla laughs to herself. Stupid drunk beast. Kind of red in the face, he kind of scuffles up and kind of pulls himself up onto the bar. Well, miss, and he doffs his 10-gallon hat at you. McGucket. Arthur McGucket.
God, here we go.
Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Entrepreneur, businessman, salesman, customer service agent. Say, ain't I seen your pretty little face somewhere before?
Have you?
Yeah. Maybe on one of them modeling posters. And he winks.
No, definitely not.
I don't know. McGucket never forgets a pretty face.
Have we met before? Hephaestus, have we met him before?
We were at the
Ugh.
Excuse you.
Sorry, miss. I didn't see you there. You startled me.
He was at the temple with us. He was at the temple, and his name is in that fucking book, and so is Eve's, and maybe someone should tell me what's going on.
In the ledger? His name is in the ledger?
Now hold up. Hold them horses of yours, missy. And he actually goes to straighten himself up because his shirt's hanging out and a bit of his belly is there and he's feeling a bit exposed and you scared him.
Good.
The temple.
Yeah, you know, with the incubus and the succubus and the reason, like, this is happening, and I, pull my shirt back a little bit to show the claw marks across my chest. And I'm just like, where we almost fucking died.
Because the whole building collapsed.
You sure that's where we met?
Down the road from the Sleeping Bee.
Ah, yes. And he slaps himself on the side of his thigh. I knew I recognized your pretty little mug.
But what was your name doing in their ledger? Why were you buying from them?
Oh, I was hoping to get some supplies. Healing potions?
Healing potions?
Really?
We're not that stupid.
Literally everybody worth their salt in this city that hawks them healing potions was getting them from them two.
Who else? Do you know who else they were selling to?
What are y'all accusing me of?
The temple was run by an incubus and a succubus who had found a way to take basically the soul of someone out of them so they could feed on it.
Why, pray tell, would a succubus and an incubus want to eat somebody's soul?
I don't know, but they were doing it to people. They were making them like zombies.
But I'm confused. What has this got to do with a potion?
That was how they were doing it.
And he just looks at Marilla very, very confused. I got an appointment with those two after Garthok put in a good word for me.
He bought potions from the temple as well. His name was in the ledger too. He bought a lot.
Marilla and Archer look at each other. Garthok, he's out of that business. He sold all his stuff up. He sits on his fat grey ass, just getting fatter. Bossing every other merchant and stall.
I'm sure the potions, if he's giving them to people, makes it easier for him to control them and boss them around.
But I didn't get any of them potions. You folk were there and, well, you stopped him.
We stopped one of them. Sykes kind of mentioned it last night, that Nana and Rash were not themselves. It kind of sounds similar to how we found some of the followers at the temple. I think maybe Ardit is still about doing this kind of thing. And I think he might be with Norris.
At this point, Thane, you've kind of come downstairs to hear Fia saying that I think Ardit is down.
When he eventually does come downstairs, he's entirely clean-shaven, and his long hair is gone, and he just has kind of a bit at the top. Hey, morning everybody. How'd we all sleep? Who were we talking about? Ardit, the guy we set on fire?
Yeah, I kind of put it together last night when Sykes said about Nana and Rash not being themselves. I think...
And that Norris had a monster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe they're trying to make those potions again.
Especially if Nora's tried to send her off to the convent. They're clearly buddy.
They must be involved in some way. I don't know. And certainly seeing that councilman's name in the ledger, it's all looking rather fishy.
I see Thane now all like shaven and hairless, and I just like try to catch his eye and just raise my eyebrows. Like, I know what a mental breakdown looks like, and it looks like that.
All right,
and it
Brick,
looks
Brick.
fabulous, but are you okay?
I just kinda
And I say all of that with my eyebrows.
I come out with 2 trays and then Mage Hand carrying another tray. And then I see Thane and I go, "Ugh," and I drop everything. I go, what the fuck happened to your face? Oh my god.
What do you mean? It's still all here.
You look like a butterbean on legs. What is going on?
Thane kind of like shirks his long coat a bit and kind of ties it, and he's like, they just didn't want to look like the posters, that's all.
That's clever.
What's for breakfast?
I look at the mess of croque madame on the floor and I go,
Oh no, because that mostly scoop back onto the plates with with some dust and hair on it.
oh, okay, fine.
She's burying that back out of the tables.
Yeah.
I need to process this for a minute and then I go back into the kitchen and go back cooking.
Yeah, that's good orphan eating is what that is.
It's Croc Madman.
Cranky madman.
Speaking of cranky madmen, I kind of look at McGuck and I'm like, do I know you?
We met him at the temple.
That's it. Nice hat.
Miss Marilla, what the hell is going on? I came here for a bit of respite, to bend your ear a little bit. I find you looking like you got 12 sheets of shit kicked out of you by death itself. There's a bald lady in here. And everybody else looks pretty. And then you've got all these little orphans. Now, I know you were a fool for a good cause, but 1, 2, 3, 57, 2, 14 orphans, Marilla. And Marilla's just like, yep. What the bloody hell is going on?
I don't know, but I think it's pretty sinister by the looks of things. I think we need to start getting ready to break into the Flotsam estate. I think we need to stop him as soon as we can. Whatever he's up to, it can't be good for the city.
Well, you folks probably best not to go outside. Now that I see, your faces. Y'all are the ones on them posters.
Yeah.
You folks wouldn't have had anything to do with that warehouse blowing up last night.
Technically, Marilla blew it up.
And Marilla just kind of shrugs. If y'all are damn set on getting yourselves out there and burning that rich people's house down, hats off to you. But best think of a way to get yourselves out of the city because the guards are looking for you.
No, he's right. Our face is everywhere. We don't have a disguise anymore. It's going to be really tough to get out of the city.
McGucket's got some stuff if you're looking to buy.
What kind of stuff, McGucket?
He hitches himself away from the bar and he moves over to the table and he literally just pulls 2 cords at the same time and the bag unrolls. There's a couple of different things that you see. There's a very odd looking feather shaped cutlass. There's a small vial of what looks like a black powder. You see just an orb that's swirling a little bit like a snow globe. There's a ring, a very lavish looking monocle, and then a couple of bottles of what looks like a healing potion. You can't be 100% certain just because the color looks slightly off. And there's a rolled piece of paper.
Fia kind of has a glance over and seeing nothing really kind of catch her eye for what she has in mind for getting for herself. I'm gonna head out. I have an idea of a few things that I need to get. Does anyone want me to pick up stuff for them?
Can I get some armor?
Sure.
Like, can you make sure that I look good in it?
I'll try my best, yeah.
I just toss my bag of gold at her.
All of it?
Yeah, she's not gonna take money. She's a pussy. She's not gonna steal my money.
Give the rogue all your
Love
money.
you, Fia.
I don't know whether to be insulted by Hephaestus or Amber at that one now, to be honest, anymore.
Hey.
I love you really, but Jesus Christ.
So just having a look at your card sheet, you've got 40 gold?
Yeah.
You actually owe her 5 gold for the armor.
She doesn't know that. She'll figure it out.
I will when I get there.
You're one of those people. Can you buy me fags? Yeah, sure. Here's a fiver.
Nate, Thane, do you want anything when I'm out?
Yeah, I'm going to need some armor as well. And I'll throw her 50 gold.
Okay.
Thane starts ruffling through his coins. Like, if you see a nice scarf or some good like a pack of gemstones or something nice like that. Just 5 gold. Like, no, you know, if you see it, it's fine, and if not, you know, buy yourself something nice.
Sure, Thane. Okay. Yeah.
Stones and a scarf. The S and S. It's easy to remember.
I wrap myself up in the robe again just because it gives me the most cover, and then I get the scarf and I bring it up over my nose or at my face to kind of guard as much of it as I can. I think I'm going to head to an armour's that I know of that worked with my brother. He's quite discreet, so.
McGucket kind of takes a kind of a step back and kind of takes you in. You might have hidden your face, Missy, but you can't hide true beauty.
I gotta go bye.
Yeah, you can't let that little one out there by herself.
She's well able, and I put down Croque Madame for Marilla.
What's this shit?
And she just kind of nudges it with her finger.
Made it for you.
But seriously, what is it?
I will then say, and I was just wondering, is there any chance you can get me a discount with this guy?
Yeah, I get you a discount.
She tugs down her nightie a little bit. You know, she tugs it real low. Like every time she does it, just bounces kind of back up. And she hitches her pants up a bit. And Marilla approaches McGucket and just kind of puts a hand on his lower back. And then you just see his body just kind of shivers for a second, like, ooh. And he looks down and she looks up and she kind of blinks at him. And then she kind of nuzzles up to him a little bit, and like she's really close. Like she's like really, really close into him. Like she's kind of nudging him with her boobs a little bit. Or she's just kind of leaning really in. And then he's,
What? You bastard.
Sorry, what are you doing to my mum?
Yeah, what are you doing to his mom?
now son, there seems to have some sort of miscommunication between your charming mother, yourself, and I. Now, I can do you some deal on these, but a man's still got bills to pay. And Mrs. McGucket, well, she likes the finer things in life, like myself.
What's this thing here then? I point at the scroll.
This here is a bona fide, 100%, all the way from the Isle of Mistian spell scroll. And he winks.
And can I open it and have a little look at it?
Yep, you can just see that it's spell scroll for the spell blur.
What's this going for?
If you pop down to penny feathers, you'd get this for 225 gold pieces. But I like you, son. And I like your mother. I'll do you 150 gold pieces. And Myrna's just like elbowing you. Take the deal, he's stupid.
Let me think on it for a minute. Let me think on it.
Nate, as you're kind of looking around, Myrna just kind of up to you. What are you short?
16 gold pieces.
Oh. God damn it, you little bastard. And she hobbles around the bar. You just hear like the chest that she keeps the takings in, and she rolls around it. McGucket, give the boy the scroll, and throw in one of those lousy potions of yours as well while you're at it. And she fetches the 16 gold pieces. She takes the bag off of you, and she goes over and she pays him for it. She snatches the scroll out of him the way she snatched the bag from you, and she takes a potion off the table, and then she just puts them into your hands, and she just stands at the bar very cross.
I walk over to her and just sort of like, you know, on the cheek.
I don't know if anyone's paying attention, but Hephaestus does crack a very small smile.
Bastard's gonna have me poor in the house. Fia, you've headed out and you're only on the second kind of side street when you notice patrol guards. Give me a stealth check.
20.
Unnatural?
Yes.
Okay. They pass, they kind of cross from the main road in front of you, kind of the side street leads onto the main street. You find they're heading to the armor smith. They're heading in the direction that you're going. So you're going to try and have to dodge them the entire way.
Okay.
Or you can go somewhere else.
I think not risking it. I think Fia will go somewhere else this time.
The entrance that you and Nate and Thane came through when you first arrived in the city, you'd come in through the market gate. This is where a lot of the larger businesses, established shops and stores and smiths would have their premises. You do remember an armor smith, Nina's. You've heard of it, but you've never used her before.
Okay. Yeah, I head for Nina's.
Give me another stealth check.
23.
From the slum district up through Ashborough and Ashgrove, you're making your way kind of towards that central street from the market gate that kind of leads directly to the Quill. But you're using every side street and back alley that you know. You even have to hop a fence or two to kind of get there. You know you're in the right area because you can just see plumes of smoke coming out of 3 chimney stacks. While the yard is fenced off and it's a high iron fence, you can inside. Give me a perception check, actually.
13.
You can hear the sound of a hammer striking an anvil. It's just that clanging, reverberating in this closed yard. But you also hear sobbing.
Oh. I kind of approach, and as I do,
Fence is the yard is closed off.
Oh.
So yeah.
So I have to hop over the fence, or go around the other way.
You could try the front entrance, or you could try jump the fence.
Yeah, no, I'll go around to the front entrance.
Okay. There is a black dress ribbon pinned to the door, and just a small white card that reads, "Closed due to a funeral."
Frick. I go back around to the fence, and I kind of clear my throat to grab that person's attention.
They hear you, but they don't. You just cleared your throat. That could have been anybody passing.
Hello, excuse me.
The hammering stops.
Hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm kind of in desperate need of a few things.
I'm very sorry, but we're closed.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Give me a moment. You can hear the sound of the hammering had stopped anyway, but then you hear this kind of a bit of moving and shuffling. There's a small dwarf-sized door set into the fence, and you hear the rattling of metal, and then the door kind of just squeaks open. Standing there, you just see this short, red-haired dwarf woman, red eyes that are they're like raw from crying. She's just covered in soot, and she's wearing thick, heavy overalls and an apron. I'm very sorry. What exactly are you looking for?
I'm looking for some studded leather armor and some. I don't know if you have any specialty arrows.
Oh, let me have a look. I'm very sorry. And she gestures for you to kind of follow her into the yard. The leather's over there, and she kind of points at just a pile of leather armor that's just been kind of tossed in a corner. I'll have to go and have a look just to see what we've in stock for arrows.
I kind of go to reach out, but realizing I don't really know her, I pull my hand back.
As you go to pull your hand back, she just takes your hand. She needs a friend right now, Fia.
Having her do that, I kind of start rubbing her shoulder a little bit.
We don't even have a body.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you lost someone?
It's my boyfriend.
Oh, and I put my arms around her, give her a proper hug.
She buries herself into you, like you almost get knocked over.
Yeah.
And then she just blows her nose into you. She's just a mess. And they won't even look for him anymore. Oh, Hod, what happened to you? I'm sorry. You were looking for arrows?
Yeah.
And she just starts to wipe the front of your clothes, and now there's just grease and snot on them now. She heads into the workshop, away from the yard and into kind of the storefront.
Very dazed by what she said, I kind of turn towards the studded armor, and I'm just in my head, I'm like, no, can't be him.
So you were picking up armor for yourself?
No, I'm okay. I'm
You're
picking
okay.
for
Hephaestus and Nate.
Hephaestus and Nate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just give me a perception check.
Okay. 14.
You kind of pulled something from the pile. It looks like it would fit Nate well. Yeah, it looks to be kind of about his size and that it would sit well on his shoulders. And that's what you're trying to concentrate on at the moment. Nina returns a few moments later. We have some in stock, but you'll have to come inside. Is that Is that armor the one you're looking for?
Yeah, I need a second one as well.
Take your time, lass. I'll be all right. You look... No, not at all. No, Nina, I'll get by on my own. I always have.
If you want to talk, it's okay. If you want to talk about him, like what happened to him?
Oh. About a month ago, he went to work, and we were meant to meet after, and he never showed. And it's not like him. There wasn't a word. There wasn't anything. The guards, they checked his house, and all his stuff is still there, but nobody saw him. He's just gone. And it's very strange, and I just thought it was hard being foolish, but he just said, you know, a couple of days before he vanished, he said he thought there was someone following him. I didn't believe him, and now he's gone. Oh, my heart.
Nina, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, you're all right, lass. You're a good one. You're a good one. City guard, the other hand, when that Flatstone woman went missing, that's all they gave two tosses about. Nobody cares about a lowly temple worker.
Realising it is actually him, Fia turns back to the studded armour to look for one for Hephaestus.
Give me a perception check.
Even better. 25.
Yeah, you basically just find this like freaking studded leather corset. It's funky as fuck. It's Hephaestus.
I pick it up and I turn to Nina and I'm like, these are really well made. Could I have a look at your arrows?
Sure. And she brings you in the back entrance to the shop. From under the counter, she just takes two kind of leather rolls, and then she just unclasps them, and out rolls these really, really well made looking arrows. This is all I've got. Will these do?
I look down and I'm like, yeah, they do. What are these ones?
In your hands, you've pulled up. It feels lighter. Like there's I feel like there's something slightly off with the balance in this. But as you pick it up and you hold it in your hand, it's just a little bit. You can hear just the faintest slosh inside. This is something I've been working on. The tip is hollow. You can put poison. You could put alchemist's fire. I have these filled. These are assassin ones. These ones, and you can see that they're heavier looking. The arrowhead is spiked, and there's kind of like hooks on the spikes. Well, these will sunder any armor, and she's kind of pointing at armor-piercing arrows.
Okay, I'll take both of those with the two of these, holding up the studded leather armor to her.
All in, lass. That's 110.
Okay, and I pull that out. Oh, would you have a pouch by any chance? A small pouch.
Sure. And she there's just a small leather pouch.
I'll take that too.
You can have that.
Oh, thanks.
As you're going to leave, you kind of she just wait. One moment, please. And she turns and she heads back over to the bench, and she grabs something. She stuffs a piece of paper into your hand. It's an artist's rendition of the man that you know as Hod Granger, the man that you were following for some time, who worked in the temple. He's been missing. That's my Hod. If you see it, will you tell him Nina's looking?
Oh, of course, I will.
You know, you were nice to me.
Again, I'm really sorry for your loss. I hope the city guards get their act together.
Me too. Me too.
I think back to what my brother said about taking care of it, and I'm like, no. He wouldn't. And I walk and I head back to the Copper Rabbit.
The rest of you there with McGucket. Nate, you've got your skull and your free potion.
I point at the sword. I'm like, well, how much is that?
That there set you back 200 gold pieces, son.
Mr. McGucket, I know a business person when I see them, and I know you've no interest in haggling or having me go to and fro with you today. But
Oh, here it comes.
I've heard tell of a blacksmith in town by the name of Gertie,
And his eyes just squint.
and I have something of theirs I think you might be interested in. I reach into my satchel and I pull out the fist from Gertie. Speaking of family heirlooms, I've heard tell from the horse's mouth that this...
Oh, Gertie's a horse.
You said it, not me. But I've heard tell that this is the first thing they ever made.
McGucker kind of just dips his head, but he's slowly just kind of rubbing the palms of his hands on his legs. And you just hear... Do you know how long I've been looking to get my hands on that fist? Son, McGuckets, we are men and women of our word. You give me that fist, that sword's yours.
Mr. McGucket, got yourself a deal. And I shake his hand. And you know what? Because I enjoyed that so much, I'll take one of those little potion-y boys off you.
The potions are 70 gold pieces, but you do get a buy one, get one free. They're not greater healing potions, they're just slightly better healing potions. A little time kind of passes.
Is it me coming back? Is it?
No. That's the fucking Fia show, apparently.
I'm just wondering, because there's something I want to do before going.
Can I know what that is now?
Oh yeah, I'm just going to put some of my ball bearings into that little pouch to give
Yeah, I know. That's why you got that fucking pouch. At least it's not
I
dirt
am-
off the ground.
So hang on a second. You can do that. I'm also giving you inspiration because you sneaky rogue.
Not such a pussy anymore, is she?
Yeah, pussy tap. Just at that moment, Fia, you come back through the door, and everyone kind of just looks, again, kind of holding their breath.
So I just walk in and I've crumpled that piece of paper away, and in the little pouch I've put 15 ball bearings, and I hand them over to Thane. Like, that's all I could get. And then I go over to Vesta and I give her armor, and then the last person I go over to then is Nate with his.
Like with all you kind of getting ready and kind of the day kind of passing, the kids are kind of like getting into trouble, and Marilla's kind of chasing after them, threatening to beat them with the copper rabbit. McGucket, giving you all kind of the old McGucket nod, gives Marilla kind of a hug and just says, well, if y'all are intent on burning down them rich folks' house, well, I ain't going to stop you, but you better think of a way of getting out of the city, because the guards are going to be looking for you. Marilla, and he just tips the hat. He's bundled up the rest of the stuff that was on the table under the cloth over his shoulder, and he heads out.
He is right though.
What, do we need a plan for getting to the Flatstone estate or getting out of the Flatstone estate?
Getting out of the city, never mind just getting there.
I mean, the estate is outside the city anyway. We burn it and run.
I also assume they're rich, so they've got to have like secret passages.
And also, lots of things to steal.
Oh my god. Marilla's just kind of rubbing her temples. Look, it's either a smash and grab job or it's arson. It can't be both.
I think the arson was me exaggerating. I think if things go really badly, it might end in arson, but we have to save Nana and Rash. And also Nate's wife.
Marilla is just staring wide-eyed at Nate.
It's a very long story.
Oh, I bet it is.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
Oh, you bet we will.
What, do you know any way of us getting out of the city?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. We're not gonna like it. Nate. And she heads into the kitchen. And the other idiots that follow Nate. She leads you through the kitchen into a back kind of utility room. There is a rather large, round manhole cover. And she points down at the sewer. You want out of the city? This is your best chance.
I think just before we go...
Well, it's not gonna smell any better.
It's definitely going to smell worse. I'm just going to say bye to Sykes very quickly.
You head up to the room. You give a knock on the door. There isn't an answer. He's lying in the bed. He's still asleep. Like he's literally like the swelling has gone down a little bit, and he's breathing.
Okay.
But he's asleep.
I just kind of tiptoe over to the dresser beside his bed. I take out a piece of paper that Thane wrote several nights ago, leave it on the drawer, and I write Fia, Hephaestus, and Nate, and I just put under it, if I'm not back. And then I leave, and I close the door.
Merla is just kind of like, she's now kind of got her nose tucked into the crook of her arm, and she's like, well?
I go down.
I hold out a torch to Hephaestus, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll light it.
Thank you.
Make him back in one piece, you bastards. And Nathaniel, congratulations.
Thanks, Mom.
And the manhole cover is just dragged over. There's a wind kind of whipping towards you down the tunnel, and it is carrying the wonderful pungent aroma of the sewer, but you're kind of used to it at this stage. And it does kind of ease this journey a little bit. And there in the distance, you can just see, as the sun dips below the horizon, you can see the bars of this pipe leading out into the open air. And in the distance, atop a hill, you see the lights of the Flatstone estate.
Is it even locked?
This is true. Like, give it a little shimmy.
It is locked.
Okay, you gotta check.
Worth checking.
Okay, well, fair enough. I appreciate that,
Yeah.
but it is locked. Because,
Is-
goddamn, I keep my city safe. I
Ain't
lock my
nothing getting out of my
sewers.
sewer.
Yeah.
Is there a lock that I could pick?
Fuck my life. Give me a roll of a d20 with advantage. And you can add your proficiency bonus.
Okay. 15.
You've actually kind of had to twist yourself out between one of the bars. Like it's tight, but you're able to kind of maneuver to get the lock. And you're all kind of watching Fia kind of like serpentine herself out through the bar a little bit, kind of squeeze herself through, and then turn back a little bit. And she's kind of fiddling with the lock, and it pops open. You all manage to kind of clear the little kind of moat that this sewer waste is collecting in. You're just going to head towards the Flatstone estate?
Yeah.
Thane gestures to the tree line and just kind of says, we should probably just, so we're not walking straight up the path, they'll probably see us.
We have to go around to the side wall anyway, where Syke showed us that he got through.
All right, you lead the way.
It's like I said, it's at the top of this hill, and you're moving as quietly and as stealthily as possible, and you're going through the woods.
Yeah, just in the tree line along the wall.
Okay. I'll tell you what, give me a stealth check with disadvantage, Fia, just because you were kind of leading everyone through, and the four of you are trying to do it together, so rather than having you all roll separately.
18.
On Thane's suggestion of kind of moving by the tree line, the four of you scurry in. You see a 3-man patrol of guards making their way down from a winding road.
I kind of tap Fia on the shoulder and I could set a bonfire about 100 feet away, and then when they run for that, we could...
Yeah, do that.
Then you just concentrate on a point, and you focus, and you all just see in the distance just flames erupt, and the 3 guards, on seeing it, rush towards it.
Right, rush the opposite direction.
Okay, you're just bolting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Stealthily.
give me another stealth check for you with disadvantage.
12.
You make it out of the tree line, across the road, and into the Flotsam grounds, effectively. But you're not near the southeastern wall, the one that Sykes had said that he'd made his way out of. And just as ye are kind of almost at the cusp of the hill, and you can just see the wall, you can see a second patrol of guards
I put my hand
to your left.
I put my hand up to get everyone's attention to stop and point in the direction of the patrol.
Oh, Christ. Literally there's no way out of this.
You're currently low on the hill, so you're out of their sight at the moment, but when they come to this side of the wall, they're going to see you down.
Can I, just in a panic, cast sleep in their direction?
How much did you roll?
25. Oh, wait, if I cast it second level, I get 2 more. 29, 37.
With kind of Fia holding her hand up kind of with a fist and just kind of gesturing to stop, and just looking over the rim of this hill, you see 3 more guards approaching, and without even a second thought, Hephaestus just stands up, stares at all 3, and just focuses her eyes on them, and all 3 drop.
That was cool as fuck.
Let's keep moving.
Can I have another stealth check, please?
Disadvantage again?
Yep.
19.
The other was a natural 20.
She's wasting these nat 20s.
like
and
plus
it
10
hurts
today,
me.
look.
She does.
I just have to take her
Again,
hand.
on seeing them drop, kind of Fia gives Hephaestus a look, and the four of you scurry. You're now kind of using the wall to kind of hide under. And the wall is about 14 foot high. Occasionally you see a kind of a tree growing, but the tree's branches have been shaved away, like just to stop people kind of skulking up one and climbing into the Flatstone estate. Fia, as you round the next corner, you see the southeastern wall and that corner that Sykes was talking about. And even kind of following you've done this hundreds of times, following the perimeter and following that wall, you see what he's talking about. Where the wall connects, where these two walls meet, the hill slightly dips. So the foundation has had to be raised, or there has to be a bit done to it. You will be able to maneuver in because parts of the foundation here are given away and parts of the wall here have crumbled. So there is actually a way over where the wall is only 8 feet high.
I pointed out to the rest of them that this is where we're going, this is where we're going over, and start making my way to
The
kind
four of you heading over.
to check it out. Yeah.
Four of you give me athletics checks.
12.
16.
Just 12.
The three of you are able to kind of clamber over the wall a little bit. Hephaestus tries to get a foot but can't. And Thane, kind of looking down the hill, you can see that the bonfire has gone out.
I immediately lie down flat on the wall and just drop my hand to her to hoist her up.
You can give me an athletics check with advantage.
18.
Four of you are on the wall and over the other side, and the estate is huge. There are tall trees just sort of stretching across. You've never seen anything like this. There's a huge open courtyard with a gigantic fountain. Everything looks manicured to an inch of its life. And as you duck low to the ground and maneuver to the next tree, we cut back to the Copper Rabbit. Marilla is she's downstairs and she's teaching the kids their ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. And kind of she stops for a moment and she kind of looks upstairs. Sykes is roaring and Marilla runs up the stairs. Marilla swings open the door to Sykes' room and Sykes sits bolt right up. I sent them to a trap. Fia, as you look back over at the wall, and as the moons kind of begin to rise, you see that the wall shifts and changes, and out of it step guards. Well. That was far easier than I thought it would be. And stepping across the courtyard, looking rather happy with himself, you see the pale, weaselly, wrinkled grin of Norris Flatstone. Weapons down. Now.
Or what?
And out of one of the wings of the house, march Nana and Rash, almost in unison with their steps. A guard has a blade to Nana's throat.
Norris, you suck so much. And I just chuck my sword into the ground.
I take my cue from Thane and I lower my hands.
I drop my bow.
Shall we go inside? It's chilly. And the house is very warm. Well, where I'm going it's warm. Where you're going it's even colder. Shackles, and the guards approach very, very slowly. Your hands are then kind of pulled and you're bound in these black iron shackles. Looking at them very, very quickly, you see that they're etched in runes and sigils that look very familiar to the bars in the cell that you were in the warehouse with the faceless ones. With all four of you kind of with your hands bound and your legs chained, you are led. And as you move towards Norris and the courtyard leading into the house, just around the other side of the fountain, a figure stands. Well, Norris, you kept your end of the deal. And the shadow moves to the other side, pulls back the hood, and you see the burnt, disfigured form of Ardat. his right face slightly charred, the eye scarred, and he scowls as you're led inside. You have been listening to Romancing the Dungeon with Diarmid as Thane Greyline, Louise as Fia Isidrim, Amber as Hephaestus Tenderson, and Sam as Nathaniel Obsidian McKnight. I've been Declan, your DM, and we are getting so close to the end of Season 1. Make sure you're following us on social media at D8 Dungeon, and you can always join our wonderful, wonderful community over on Discord. Just have a look for Romancing the Dungeon. Special thanks, as always, to Martin Ryan for our theme song, Love Chords. As always, we are back in 2 weeks' time, and we will see you then. No one's gonna touch that. Oh wait, there we go. That's another one.
No one touched Kane's hard bones.
So when she fingered you,
Every man should try that at least once. You all just missed Hephaestus nodding. She's done it. Oh my god, Nate. Just want to try it. Just one finger.
I feel like we've established this.
stick my flute up there.
Oh no!
That's the outtake.